What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. The PlayStation 4 has recently celebrated its first year anniversary, and for the very short period of time on the market, it sure is quite incredible to see how vast its gaming library already is. Please understand that the following list of games is all in my own opinion, and that it only contains games released until December of 2014. Honorable mentions go out to Pixel Junk Shooter Ultimate, Rogue Legacy, Minecraft and Velocity 2X, but with that being said, I hope you enjoy my top 25 PS4 games. We start off this year's list with Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, a prologue that leads up to what will surely be one of 2015's biggest games. Many people complained about its very short main story length, and those complaints are no doubt justified, as you'll be able to beat it in maybe an hour or so. However, what's looked over is the several missions afterwards that were made to be replayed a lot, gameplay wise giving the total package a value that's pretty much similar to any other game, and I don't think I even need to explain how good that gameplay actually is. Outlast is one of the first games that came free with PlayStation Plus, and that's awesome because it's a very cool experience. If you're not a fan of horror games, then you'll have an absolutely terrible time playing this alone, like I did. But on the other hand, if you are, then trust me, turn the lights out, put your headset on its loudest settings and enjoy the ride. I have yet to find a gamer who has not played Trials before, whether on PC or other platforms, but nonetheless it's good to see one finally appear on PlayStation as well, being Trials Fusion. To me, this is not necessarily a game I would play for hours on end, but after your daily dose of AAA experiences, it is always great to sit back and relax with super addictive, challenging, but most importantly, very fun gameplay. From the creator of the original Resident Evil series comes The Evil Within, a game that places you in the shoes of Sebastian Castellanos, who awakes in a gruesome world where everything has gone to hell. What follows is a roller coaster ride that has you on the edge of your seat while uncovering more and more about what's going on. Though the game itself, and especially its graphics, can't exactly be considered next gen, there is no doubt in my mind that if you're looking for that true comeback of survival horror, The Evil Within is what you seek. Wolfenstein: The New Order is a first-person shooter that surprised everyone who tried it. Though a single-player only game that can be beaten within a reasonable amount of time might put some people off from spending their hard-earned cash, this is an experience with an amazing twist on its World War II story and setting, and trust me, because of that it is well worth the investment. It is always good to see companies like Ubisoft, usually responsible for big blockbuster titles, come out with a few true gems created by smaller teams. One of those is Child of Light, a game that combines accessible platforming and turn-based RPG combat with a very unique fairy tale-like setting. This emotional story that's entirely written in rhyming verse as well is just a one-of-a-kind experience. Destiny was hands down one of the most anticipated games of this year, coming from Bungie, of course known for creating the Halo universe, but now finally making games for PlayStation as well. Although in the end, the game disappointed many people in its story and plain repetitive gameplay, what remains is a beautiful looking shooter that the true MMO players and fans of grinding and looting will absolutely love. While I just talked about the first Ubisoft gem that came out in the form of Child of Light, it is now time to discuss the other one, and that's Valiant Hearts. Once again, the graphical style makes this so that it can be compared to an actual interactive comic book. The puzzle gameplay is challenging but genius, letting you make use of everything in your environment, and the World War I setting has taught me stuff that I simply did not know before. This is a game that lets us expand our knowledge while still being entertaining, and therefore it just deserves to get more attention. Killzone Shadowfall was one of the few exclusive games released on the launch of the PS4, attempting to draw more people into its series even when they had not played any of the previous ones yet. Its single-player campaign isn't more than some run-and-gun action in beautiful, small, open areas, but multiplayer is where it's at, with fast-paced action on an insane amount of standard and DLC maps, all free for anyone who owns the game, and that's surely a trend I would like to see continued. Where AC Unity promised to be the first true next-gen Assassin's Creed, what we ultimately got was a game full of bugs running at a frame rate that feels more like 3 gens back. Therefore, it is no wonder that many gamers overlooked how good the game itself actually is. Fortunately, now that all problems have been fixed, we can finally see what remains, being everything you know from the series, but just on such a bigger scale that it's quite mind-blowing. The Call of Duty series hasn't been what it was for me ever since the Modern Warfare 2 days, but Advanced Warfare may have been the first game that got me back into the series. Single player is nothing new, an explosion-filled campaign and some very nice CGI cutscenes, but the multiplayer is great fun, letting us use the exosuit that cranks its speed up to 11 to make for some highly addictive online matches. I seem to be one of the few people who found Infamous Second Son to be slightly disappointing, but that is only because I loved the previous two so much. The game can be fully completed within a weekend, has some very repetitive side missions, and story-wise definitely isn't up to par to its predecessors. Still, this is a series that is all about gameplay, and in that aspect it shines in all its smoke, neon and video colors. Far Cry 4 takes the formula that made the third game so successful and puts it into the country of Karat, a mixture of some of my favorite areas like Nepal, Tibet and India. This is its strong and its weak side. Have you not played any of the previous entries yet, then you'll have tons of fun taking over outposts, climbing up bell towers and riding elephants, but at the same time, if you have played a Far Cry game before, this might just feel a little too familiar to guarantee a purchase. Play, create and share is the motto that the Little Big Planet series has stuck to for a while now, and the third game in the series is no exception to that. Sackboy has found 3 new companions that all bring their own fresh gameplay elements, and users have been given even more tools to create millions of new levels for you to play. This is a platformer with an infinite amount of value, and for that it clearly deserves the praise. I hadn't expected Blizzard to come out on the PlayStation 4 announcement event to reveal a partnership with Sony that involved bringing their games to consoles. Hopefully this will continue in the future, because Diablo 3 was a perfect port where it almost seemed like the game was made with these platforms in mind. You will easily find yourself spending hours slaying dragons in this fantastic dungeon crawler just to find that one item you needed. Another game that most people will certainly feel was one of the biggest disappointments of the year was Watch Dogs, but contrary to them, I'd say it's one of the best. Sure, this is not the next-gen open-world game that you all expected it to be, but I spent 60 hours hacking my way through Chicago, both online and offline, managing to obtain my hard-earned platinum trophy, and I had a hell of a great time in doing so. Resogun must have been the game I underestimated the most, as I would have never expected a free PlayStation Plus game on launch to make it to my top 10 1 year later. Anyone who plays it will understand why it's so good. It provides a simple shoot 'em up system with basic controls, yet keeps things fast and places objectives so you're always busy saving humans. 5 main stages and fluid gameplay, it seems that is all you need to craft something special. I had gotten so tired of the Assassin's Creed series that I wouldn't have even tried Black Flag had it not been one of the few big launch games on PS4. In the end, I am so happy I did, as it truly served as the comeback of the franchise for me. The pirate setting is amazing, the music is totally fitting, and even the ship combat combined with shanties and beautiful island views is what made this an experience that I'll always remember. Being a huge fan of Uncharted, I went into Tomb Raider the Definitive Edition with high expectations. Luckily, I was not disappointed, as Lara Croft's latest adventure had me exploring ancient tombs using my bow to take out enemies stealthily, or going all out guns blazing when I got spotted. Now the plot might not have been very deep, but the total package surely served its purpose for action-adventure fans like me. Grand Theft Auto 5 must have been the biggest game to have come out last generation, as its numbers of sold copies are absolutely through the roof. But even for those 2 people who have not played the game yet, Rockstar made an improved version, and they were nice enough to include a first-person mode that makes this game feel entirely different. Look, it's very simple. If you're a fan of open world games and have not played GTA 5 yet, this is a no-brainer. Lord of the Rings has been a huge part of my childhood, so when I played the first Dragon Age in 2009, I was amazed by how I finally got to play a giant RPG in a similar tone and setting. 5 years later, and Dragon Age Inquisition takes BioWare's approach to a new level, with giant open areas, deep conversations to be had, and an awesome story that serves as a true sequel to Origins, because yeah, this made me totally forget Dragon Age 2 ever existed. But what's even better than a hardcore RPG with similarities to Lord of the Rings? Well, a game that takes the actual license and builds the most satisfying hack and slash game around it that I have ever played. Shadow of Mordor was the biggest surprise of the year, combining Batman Arkham style combat with Assassin's Creed stealth and an open world full of content. The Nemesis system makes you truly care about your enemies, and beheading a war chief gives you what is probably the most satisfying feeling you could ever imagine. Unfortunately, there are always those games that are totally underappreciated, whether for their lack of marketing or pure visual appeal. Rayman Legends is the perfect example of this, providing you with a vast amount of content, a stunning presentation, super fluid gameplay, and music levels that are the most amazing thing ever. This is the closest you will ever get to a Mario game on your PS4, but honestly, it's even better than that. As we approach the end of the list, the number 2 spot goes to the absolute most next-gen game on the PS4, and that is Battlefield 4. Epic scale warfare with 64 soldiers on foot, driving tanks or flying in helicopters on maps 500 times the size of your typical multiplayer arena, and combine that with its beautiful graphics and silky smooth 60 frames per second. If you need a game to show your friends what the PS4 is capable of, then here it is. Battlefield 4 is a must-have. After these 24 games, it's clear how many amazing experiences PS4 already offers, and it's only looking to get even better from here on out. But as always, it's that key word experience that made my number 1 decision a lot easier. Take my favorite developer and one of the best games of the last generation, bring out an even better version on a new platform, and my number 1 was not a hard pick. The Last of Us Remastered is the best game on the PlayStation 4. Joel and Ellie struggle for survival, and this truly remarkable tale is something that everyone just has to experience for themselves. I'm not saying that if you had a PS3 and played this game, you should get it again, as the included DLC and upgrade to 60 frames per second clearly doesn't justify another investment. But there is no denying, the single player campaign is just something special, and the multiplayer is amazing on its own. So after all, it's not surprising that right now, The Last of Us Remastered is the best game on the PS4. Thanks a lot for watching my top 25 PS4 games. Please take in mind that this list only represented my personal opinion, so let me know in the comments which games would make it to your list. For even more, make sure to check out my PlayStation 3 and Vita lists, as well as my top 10 upcoming PS4 games for 2015. And for everything gaming, stay tuned to my channel at youtube.com/robingaming. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, so thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.